Hey, Colin.
Hey, got a crazy background. Wonder if Matt's gonna pull out a.
Oh, I need to. I should set up a cool virtual background here.
Yeah, do something funny.
I need to.
Wonder if you could one up Matt on his romance novel background.
That's a great idea. Let me stand by.
Like the Gone with the Wind have like a house on fire in the background or something. Actually, need to check and see if I think I have a camera somewhere. Just never set it up. Check.
Says tap video and then virtual background. If I need to update my app. Join on my iPhone. Update it. Colin, can you see me?
The ghost.
I can't see myself. Hang on, let me turn on self view.
Hey, Dalton.
Hey there.
All right.
He,
Try to get to
Dalton's bringing a special guest on with him.
Oh, yeah?
Roadhouse.
Oh, my. I really hope it's the real Patrick Swayze reincarnated. All right. What do you got? Hold on. I can't see it. Your name strip is covering it up.
Yeah,
Alan,
it's
you have to get a camera. I can't deal with this.
yeah. I can't. I just went looking for it.
I'm gonna
I
find
had
out
one
if Amazon
somewhere.
you a camera.
I had one. I had one I bought years ago, and it's a good one, and it's somewhere. And I kept seeing it a million times, and now that I need it, I can't fucking find it.
We
Well,
have cameras everywhere. I'll be right back. I gotta grab my brew and my laptop. So this is the first inaugural YouTube stream from WebEx. I'm pretty excited about that little feature. We've streamed to Facebook before, but now we can actually stream to YouTube.
All right.
All right. So Dalton, where's the guest?
The guest. Oh, I took the guest off. I wanted to join from my iPad. Can't do the virtual background on the iPad, so.
Oh, gotcha. All right, I'm grabbing beer.
You can't do virtual background on iPad, Dalton?
Well, the documentation says that you can, but.
Hold on. I just did it before, I think.
Oh, well, then it may be the fact that I have an old iPad. Mine is like let me see what kind it is. It's like an iPad 2 or something.
Oh, I have one of those, and I have a new one.
I have an iPad mini 4, that's what mine is.
Oh, that sounds high tech.
No Vineyard, Matt?
It's a couple
I'm
years
gonna
old.
turn it on. I'll turn it on. Hold on.
Well, you gotta do something different now if you don't have Fabio.
No. Let me see here. So I was prospecting here, calling people, sending people notes and stuff. I'm getting pretty good at deciphering a Cisco call manager.
Attention, we're streaming, by the way. So.
We are streaming, yes.
Is anybody watching?
Doesn't
Found it.
It is recording, so it's streaming.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'm gonna go get my beer. I'll be right back.
I gotta get like a little disclaimer sign that says we're streaming, we're live. It is interesting. The lighting in the basement there, Matt, is like it's got this halo effect. It's given like a nice little aura. Oh, goodness.
Blue is going to join in on the happy hour fun today.
I don't know. People accepted, but I'm just excited that the YouTube stream worked. I'm pretty pumped about that. I was playing with that earlier. I made a video about HIPAA compliance and BAAs and WebEx, and that ran right into another call I had, and then I quickly was able to test and discovered that this works pretty well identically to like how you used to be able to stream off the old codecs. You used to be able to do an RTMP stream, send it out to something like anything that could take one, like what YouTube or LinkedIn or anything. So they just brought it to the WebEx platform. Some old Tambird technology, bringing it to WebEx.
Very cool.
RTMP is not even Tambird technology, I should be fair.
Oh, the halo effect, I think, is just a light bulb that's up in my corner there, of where my camera is.
You've got perfectly
just
situated light bulbs.
I built this basement for this purpose.
Oh, hey, I gotta turn off my sound here.
All right, I'm going to join from this iPad. No, but I sent you guys a CEO conversation I came across while I was on their website, and he had some very real concerns that need to be addressed right away with all the virus things going on. So take a look at it, give it a listen. Might have a good idea of something that's needed. I also reached out to my friends that work there. I'm like, hey, we're doing this, and is there anything that's really screaming to be fixed? We're looking for problems to solve. So we'll see if anybody replies back. For the most part, when I asked that question, I'm like, hey, what kind of problems are you trying to fix? Everyone's like, I don't know. There's too many. I can't even think of one. So it's hard getting it out of people. Anybody else feel that way? No? That's good.
No, just you.
I mean, sometimes it's hard to get the info out of customers. I dropped off for a bit of that, so I may not have caught everything that was said there, but yeah, I can.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, I was asking folks, hey, are there any problems that are just screaming to be solved that you guys are running into now? And I haven't asked too many people that question, but when I ask my friends, they're all kind of like, I don't know. There's nothing I can really think of. So I don't know. I need to think of better questions than what kind of problems do you have? I need to think of how are you dealing with this or how are you dealing with that? I don't know.
I threw in
Thinking about my approach.
Teamspace there, a little screenshot if you guys are curious what it looks like.
Yeah.
WebEx.
Dalton was helping me with my messaging today too. Dalton, I think there it is. I look cool. Man, I look cool.
You do, Matt.
3 people streaming. I know one of those people. I wonder who the others were. 2 now. Had a good conversation with our friends David Melnick. Those guys, good people. Really good people. They're doing a lot of good work and helping folks right now. It's been a good day. Good way to wrap up the week.
Yeah, what did you guys talk about?
Coming back with the camera.
What did you guys talk about?
It was interesting. We were talking about security, network security, endpoint security, that kind of stuff, and the necessity of getting security best practice as it pertains to IT in the hands of facility operators and owners. And he thinks, in talking to people, a majority of these folks are probably not going to be online until the end of the year, late third quarter, fourth quarter timeframe. Just with all the COVID stuff that's happening. So a little bit slower than what most people had hoped, I'm sure, but still a good conversation. So, get it out there. Try to put in an article potentially in Greenway and get some of that communication started. He'd written an article and put some stuff in around HIPAA. So today's been all about HIPAA. I think I've had 3 conversations about HIPAA today. Matt Powell from his iPad. Oh, there you go. Is that one of your pictures or is that a stock photo?
No, I think that's one of my pictures.
Hey,
Hey,
look
look
at
at
Colin.
Colin.
Hey guys, found my
There he
camera.
is.
It's in the closet over here.
Looks great.
I haven't seen Colin in so long. He's grown a beard, changed his name to I don't know. I was trying to think of something funny, but I failed. Matt, did you say that's your picture or that's stock imagery? I think Matt's still working on his microphone.
I think that's a stock one.
Is it?
I believe so. Yeah.
What's up, Brendan? You look so official. What shirt are you wearing today? Audio. Switching devices.
Hello.
There we go. I can't see. You're going to have to zoom in. We don't have your audio either, bud. You're going to have to switch your audio device.
Oh, he's muted. It looks like via WebEx.
Oh,
How's that?
There we go. Oh no.
I'm out of vendor shirts. I'm just putting stickers on stuff now.
But don't worry, I knew you were gonna not like Avaya, so I got the piece of paper and the pen, so I can just change it on the fly.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You can wear an Avaya shirt. There's no threat there.
Ooh, burn.
That was.
He just
I mean, that's
ignored
true.
it.
I'm
He's
about
like,
to
I'm
throw
just not
my
even getting
Avaya PBX is going in a dumpster in like 30 days.
Nice. How big is it?
Well, it's mostly virtual. I do have some actual physical servers we'll probably repurpose, but I will find something to throw in a dumpster just for the show of it.
Yeah, you gotta. Whenever you do something like that, make a migration. You gotta do the old Office. Is it Office Space? Office. What's that movie where they?
No, it's
Office
Office
Space.
Office Space.
Okay.
PC
Yeah.
Love Letter.
That's what we need to have happen.
So what are you
Cool.
drinking today, Dalton?
Oh, I haven't had a drink all week, so I thought I'd start with a Moscow Mule.
There you go.
All week? You haven't had a drink all week? Jesus.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, all
It's
week.
been a rough week.
Aren't we all giant alcoholics now?
I like slam a big old glass of vodka right before I go to bed every day.
I'm pretty sure I saw you on Twitter this morning, Brendan, talking about drinking every night. So
Yeah, I'm agreeing with everybody that says they're giant drunks now. I'm not disputing any of that.
Well, after last week, I just thought that I'd take it a little bit easier this week.
there you go. Get a little water in the mixer.
Yeah. Work it in whenever time permits.
Now I want to change.
What are you using for fill lights back there?
Huh?
Can you pivot the camera? Do you have a PTZ where you can show us your lighting setup?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I can't pivot the camera. It's not that sophisticated. It's fairly low tech, actually. I'll join from my phone and I'll show you.
So we got to get you one of these room kits because then you could just go like this and go like boom.
Yeah, you should definitely give me a room kit for free. I totally agree with that.
We can get you a new
Same
DX80 on the
Even
subscription.
better.
They're cheap now.
I don't know about subscription. That sounds expensive.
Well,
Did you print out your nameplate or did you take that from the office?
It's physical. It's from the office. They give you two, and it's got a Velcro back on it. And so I had one up, and then I was just taking some stuff out of my drawers when I knew I wasn't going to come back for a while, and I saw this, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just take it home.
I like it. I like the font. The reason I asked about the fill lights is I was doing a film earlier, making a little video around HIPAA stuff, and the necessity of a fill light is very apparent, or the need for a fill light is very apparent in my basement. They have can lights that are pointing down and create terrible shadows all over the face, and then I get all kinds of glare that pops in from the computer screens. And it has the information that I'm looking at as I'm making the video. So I'm using the fill lights to try and cut down on the reflections and add a little bit of color to my face so it's just not black and white. I was curious what fancy stuff you had so I can steal some of your ideas.
It's a shit ton of lights, man.
How many lights do you have?
4? I'll show you. I got to put I got WebEx Teams on my phone, but not WebEx Meetings. I got to put meetings on my phone.
You can join this meeting from WebEx Teams.
Well, it's too late now.
Matt, it looks like you're fading off into the mountain line.
I know. I'm trying to change my image right now. I'm logging in. I'm doing a whole lot of work over here. I'll be right back. But
How do you set
look like-
how do you set the
like
virtual background in Teams?
it's like I'm an angel.
You got to use one
It's
of
like
the.
that music video with that cowboy that just screams and he's like in the sky. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's hilarious. That's exactly what Matt looks like.
What video is that? I need to look that up now.
That's what I was
That looks like
thinking.
a Tiger King video.
Yeah.
I didn't have MTV when I was a kid. I was deprived of cable. We just did not have that at my house. So I missed all the good videos. I missed the heyday of
Oh, this
MTV.
is an internet video from like 6 months ago or something. I'll find it.
Well, I do have the internet, so
Well, then we're in luck.
I can watch that.
Gotta get my deer in there.
Do you guys remember living at your houses before the internet? I know Dalton doesn't, but does anybody remember that? Like dial tone, like fax machines? I do.
Matt, I do
I have fax
remember
machines
that.
I have to support now, so yes.
That don't have the internet?
My fax machines don't have the internet. They just have
Oh yeah.
fine
No, I
reception.
meant like the what's it called? The modem sound. I'm saying fax machine because they remind me of dial up. But anyway, yeah. I'm trying to configure something over here and I can't talk and configure at the same time. I'm just going to apologize right now to the Facebook people that are not watching this.
It's YouTube.
It's on YouTube, and there's 3 people watching.
Well, I'm in a band. I've performed in front of more than 3 people before.
Fun story. While we're talking about fax machines, I had in my first job, I did tech support. I was on the help desk of an internet service provider and had a customer call up who was legitimately trying to connect to the internet using her fax machine. And I will admit, I was young and it was the end of my shift. I might have told her to turn it off for 15 minutes and turn it back on again and try later, just so I could get out of my shift.
Oh my lord.
Just call back in 15 minutes. You'll get me again, I promise.
I didn't say that. I didn't lie.
I know.
Just, like, just turn it off and try it again later. Oh man, there's only so much you can do sometimes. Then the other one was oh man, there was something about somebody with a CD-ROM, but I can't remember what that story was. If I think of it, I'll tell you that one. But yeah, the fax machine was great because I could hear her
The retractable
clicking
drink
the
holder.
buttons. I could hear her like pushing it as she was trying to, like, I was telling her what number to dial for the dial-up, right? And I could hear the buttons being pushed and the beeping from the fax machine. And I was like, "What model modem do you have there?" And she told me it was like a brother or something or other, right? And I'm like, "Cool, that's a fax machine. It's gonna go great." Youth.
Need it to get connected to the internet. Start surfing the web.
Yeah, I guess you can. Whoa, what's this fantastic stuff? Who's doing
Am
that?
I doing something?
Matt Powell is starting to share his screen.
I was trying to do I'm trying to run everything from this iPad. It's interesting. I'm going to share the video that Brendan sent me and everybody in the chat.
Be sure to optimize your sharing for video.
I know that's what I was getting ready to do, Dalton. I was like, I wonder if you can optimize your iPad for sharing video. I don't know if that's true, if it can or not. Let's see. Boom.
I saw Brendan while you were sharing. I saw the ceiling. I think I saw a wall for a moment.
Yeah, you want to see my light?
I'm guessing Rob's still doing training.
Yeah, he said that he was doing some work for
Some
one of the
people.
clients. Yep, one of the clients.
It's like some people. Oh my
All right. What am I broadcasting right now? What do you guys see? Because I can't see anything.
Your iPad screen.
We see screen broadcast WebEx Meet.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now do you see my screen still?
Yes.
Your iPad
right.
screen. I see Mario Kart.
Let me get Brendan's YouTube. That's cool. That's really cool. I like.
What are you sharing?
You're
All right, I'm ready now. Hold on.
you're doing the screen mirroring.
I'm trying to.
What?
I don't usually get to play around with stuff like this. There's a reason why. Okay, can you guys see this
Hey.
video?
Yes.
Can you hear the sound?
We hear the video though.
Yeah, that's the question. Can you hear it?
No.
No, bummer. Here, let me get my mic by it.
This is not the cowboy that's Matt, by the way. It's about 2 minutes, 20 seconds in when they get to the cowboy in the sky. This is
Where's
some
the
other
chopper?
cowboy, not Matt. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Right, here we go. It's really much better with sound. He is just shrieking.
Oh, is my sound not working?
No, I don't think you
But
share
it's
stuff.
still funny. Funny
Shares
visual.
audio.
Everybody gets, I assume, what I mean with your background.
Wow.
What's the name of this video?
Kieran,
I put it in the chat,
Big
Colin.
Okay, I'll take a look.
So yeah, so I was trying to hold up my my mic to the earpiece. I was trying to do some ad hoc AV work, but it just didn't work. Sorry, guys. That's a good. I like it. It does. It is good with the sound. I'll give Brendan that. It definitely will add to the enjoyment factor. All right, I'm gonna change my virtual background. I was on with another customer today, and they were also working out of their basement, and they were playing with the virtual background as well. So everybody is checking it out.
I've played with it just a little bit. I haven't actually used it in a call. Can you do it from, I don't think you can do it from the desktop client yet. Can you, Dalton?
You can't. That's the unfortunate part. I think that's part of what makes it so attractive to use Zoom for a lot of people is that they can do that, even if even if they're on their desktop client.
All right, Mark. I'm going to share my. I'm going to show my setup before I hang up my cell phone.
Do it.
See how I'm. If you look at Brendan Gates' cell. I don't know if I can be in focus or not. You guys can probably control that from your own client, but.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh neat. Look at that. It looks like a recording studio you got rocking. Dang.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
It is my intent.
We need to come over there and do. We need to come over there and do.
Microphone.
Oh yeah.
On a boom that I am not using, but that normally swings around where the laptop is. And yes, the laptop is sitting on toilet paper. So I am protecting.
That's pretty spectacular. So my fill
It's really
light
all
is,
just coming off of this laptop, and then I sit here with this other laptop, which I work off of, and that's just my streamer, pretty much.
I need to get the toilet paper. My fill light is angled on a trash can right now, so it's not as fancy as toilet paper.
It's pretty fancy.
That is
Well,
quite
it
the
works.
setup you have there.
It's how I shot my ill-fated YouTube videos, man.
So hold on, where are these YouTube videos? I feel like they need to be viewed by the audience here.
YouTube.
I
that wasn't clear.
understand. Where's the content if I were to search for it? Just look for B
Search
Gates.
for YouTube Brendan Gates.
Brendan.
It's not very hidden. I'm not honestly sure what you're going to find as the first video. I shot a toilet paper review video. I think I said that last time, but I didn't shoot it down here. I shot that upstairs.
Oh.
It wasn't a demo video, was it?
No.
So the toilet paper video is from 2 years ago. So you filmed a toilet paper video 2 years ago before COVID started. I just want to get that out in the open, right?
I filmed that because my basement had I didn't say this last time, my basement, I'm sitting below, like the ceiling in the basement is just below the bathroom upstairs. We had a soft clog, which some horrible, terrible things came out of the tub and the toilet and went onto the floor, which was cracked old tile and came through the ceiling and dripped on everything, and so we had to throw it all out and rip the walls and the ceiling out. So the basement that I have, this color and all this stuff is thanks to poop and us using the wrong toilet paper, which is to say normal toilet paper. And the plumber is like, what are you doing? Your plumbing's from the 30s. You got like lead pipes. You need to use single ply or 100% recycled. And Lisa said, that's it, we're moving. So I shot a video where I just did a rundown of a bunch of crappy toilet papers to figure out which one was the most tolerable of the terrible toilet papers.
I love it.
There are more videos on that channel. You just can't see them, Mark. I don't have them on hidden.
Just the fact that all this happened before COVID is so astounding.
Oh, it really worked out well because I go on Amazon and I'd be like, oh, it looked like a bamboo-based toilet paper. I want to test that. And they'd be like, you have to buy 40 rolls. And they'd be like, okay, well, I don't really want 40 rolls, but, anything for comedy. And with all this terrible toilet paper that was in a corner in the basement that we were never planning on using, and then COVID hit, and I was like, this is really helpful.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
All
Did
prepared.
you have to replace your main, like everything, or just inside the house for the sewer
Just
lines?
inside the house.
Yeah.
They did scope out the main, the lateral out to the back to the connection in the alley, and they did see that there's a crack going underneath the garage. And they're like, oh, we can fix it. We just have to knock down the garage. And we were like, we'll just wait on that. And we called the insurance company, and some surprisingly helpful clerk was like, yeah, so just add coverage and don't claim it right now, and then claim it next year. We were like, oh, all right, well, you're not really supposed to tell us that, but sure. So we did add coverage, and that was a couple of years ago, and it will probably collapse at some point, and then hopefully we'll be covered to take care of it.
Oh man, I hope it doesn't. I hope you sell the house before that happens.
Yeah, me too.
That is
Me too.
I've had a main problem before, and it's usually during a rainstorm.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of backup, and it's no fun. It's no fun.
I can't imagine anything worse than not having water for any period of time.
No, I'm talking about the sewer line, not the water main. Sorry, the sewer line. I've had a sewer line get destroyed during a rainstorm, and all of that water found its way into my basement. I think this was like a month after I bought my first house. And I'm knocking on the doors of my now good friends, asking them to come over and help this random person they are living next to bail water out of my basement.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was
My
a
Lord.
bonding moment. We bonded real well.
Yeah, it's a great story now. I'm sure it was horrifying at the time.
There's about 4 inches of water in the basement, yeah, of just the entire length of the house. There's 4 inches of water that's backed up during the middle of a rainstorm because the sewer line was done. I now know whenever you buy a house, you should have your sewer line inspected.
Yeah.
This was not a
They
sewer
told me.
line failure. This was the renovators threw all the garbage down the sewer line. So all of that backed up and filled up and then went into my basement.
Of course they did.
Yeah, it's real fun. So pay the $300 or $250, whatever it is, and get a sewer line inspection. It's worth every penny.
But now now you know your neighbors though. That's
You know
priceless.
Lifelong friends because of that moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Priceless moment.
Yeah. Something to be said about going and helping your neighbor bail water out of their sewer line together. Let's get real close.
Yeah, you get up to your elbows and Alligators.
I was wondering how you're going to end that.
Well, this is a PG stream, so alligators.
Oh, you look like a ghost, Matt.
Yeah, I was looking at trying to make myself look like a vampire with the full moon. So that's a shot of the supermoon right there.
There's just so much glare.
Something out of Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, the virtual background doesn't work with. I bet if I had like a nice green screen or something like Brendan has in his office, that would work well. But just shooting up at the rafters isn't.
Great.
Hey, Carrie.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Carrie.
Not a heavy pour. Hello.
Not a heavy
This
pour.
got me rolling last Friday. Finished a whole bottle, and I haven't drank a whole bottle of wine in I don't know how long.
Is it safe to say that you didn't get on the horses last Friday?
Yes, no, I did not. No, I didn't. I had to think about that. I'm like, when was that? Saturday and Sunday, but Friday I took off. And I even put together a little cheese and crackers and a few nuts here
Oh, wow.
for my happy hour. I'm taking this seriously.
What's up, Carrie?
Hi, Mark.
That's a pretty good spread you've got there. I walked in right at the right moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jeff had some sausage made, deer sausage made, and he just picked it up, and it is really, really good.
That's very nice. I don't have any. Just we have, so we went vegan, so I have seitan, which is good, but it's not the same.
Mm-mm.
I used to like that stuff. So I grew up vegetarian. Pretty good stuff.
Well, Matt made his first seitan, so this is a
What is that?
this is a big moment. From what I've been told,
It's
some
bean
kind of
curd, or
wheat.
yeah, it's made from soybeans. Or no, it's wheat. It's wheat. Yeah,
I think it's wheat, yeah.
Wheat curd. Yeah, it's kind of like soy. You know how like tofu's made of soy curd. It's made of
Yeah. What I was also told is that you should never observe the process of seitan being made because it doesn't look appetizing at all. But I'm really looking forward to it. So that's tonight. We're gonna have some gyros from seitan pseudo meat.
I just thought it was pronounced seitan.
I don't know. It probably is. It probably is. So while I have a captive audience with you, Brennan, the conversation I've been meaning to have with you all week, I'm just gonna lasso you into now. So what do you think about this whole next gen 911 thing?
The whole government boot on our neck you talking about? I got to update our 911 systems and spend a lot of money with vendors.
Cost of doing business.
It seems like a pretty big cost, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think
it's not free.
I'm concerned about Ray Bombs Act. That seems pretty complicated, which is probably what you're counting on for what you were telling me about. But Kerry's Law is very straightforward. It makes a lot of sense. People should have been doing that anyway. No big deal. Dispatchable location being sent with phone calls using a Red Sky, using some other third-party provider. That's a little bit of a pain in the ass just because you can't really self-serve as far as I can tell. You pretty much have to engage somebody else to do that for you.
You mean you can't provide that information to the PSAP on your own? Is that what you're saying?
What I mean, yeah. Yeah, like my PBX, none of them have the capacity to do that. So it's something that I'd have to do, I guess, like as an overlay from a third party.
Right, right. What if you could do it yourself?
And I'd be excited.
Would you pay to be able to do it yourself, or would you want to be able to do it for free?
I would want to be able to do it for free. That's an easy answer. But would I pay because the government's requiring me to? Yes.
Free always comes with a lot of baggage, though. So that's why I was curious what your answer might be. There's no SLAs, there's no guarantees, there's all that kind of stuff, right? You pay, you get that stuff.
Yeah, like free tier stuff. I thought you were going to provide me a good, solid enterprise class product for free. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm a very reasonable customer. Don't worry.
It is interesting. The other thing that I started realizing is all the infrastructure on the PSAP side. These are all going through upgrades as well. I don't know if you knew this, Carrie. There's a whole smart city stuff ties into Next Gen 911 as well for updating the PSAP so they can actually receive this new highly granular dispatchable location information. I guess like the Gen 1, Gen 2 systems don't include things like lat long accuracy for a 911 call. And now
I did not know.
they will have that. Prior, if like for example you were on your cell phone and you called 911, they could look up. It would take like 30 seconds to a minute for them to look up and see, what cell tower you're pinging off of. And now with the new Next Gen 911, they can actually get the lat long pushed with the phone using the phone's GPS directly into the PSAP. So all those systems, it's not just the enterprises that have to upgrade their PBXs and those systems, it's the PSAPs. There's over 6,000 PSAPs that have got to do all this as well. A lot of money, a lot of tax dollars too. Wow, it's a riveting topic, I can tell.
I was hoping we were going to play
I am.
two truths and a lie. Oh, you have a shepherd?
Yeah, he's a mini Aussie.
Oh, he's darling.
Look, come over here. Look at the camera.
Oh, what's his name?
Blue.
Oh, he's a handsome feller.
Most definitely.
Appropriate for I. Is that what drove the name?
That is what drove the name, actually, the two different colored eyes.
Yeah. Is that with their breed?
It's pretty common, but definitely not with all of them.
Yeah. Like it. I don't know where mine's at. Mine's probably upstairs sleeping and snoring if I had to guess. Brendan, where's Michael Jackson at?
Upstairs sleeping and snoring. He's wherever Lisa is, which is not here. She's upstairs working.
Oh man, it's tough. Does she work long hours still with all this, or is it still? Oh, we got a little message from your camera there.
Yeah, I still got to work on the setup a little bit. Can't quite stop all the messages from happening. Kind of, showing the fourth wall a little bit, but I'll figure that out eventually. Yeah, she's super busy. Rental car has been hit pretty hard, so they're scrambling to adapt their business to survive, all that kind of stuff. Go to contactless pickup and drop off and things that might get their business rolling again. So she's been working quite a bit.
That was actually something I hadn't even considered was the rental. I mean, everybody's talking about the airports and the restaurants and all the folks working within the airport.
Travel, and hospitality are all getting kicked in the nuts right now. I mean, lots of people are, but
yeah, that's got to be tough. Seen, unfortunately, on the travel side, a lot of layoffs in some of the travel agencies around town. It's really unfortunate. A lot of good folks being impacted.
Yeah.
I think maybe somebody was texting me. They might be joining. We'll see. Well, Colin.
going on?
I just am enjoying watching Matt join and leave, join and leave.
It's starting to get pretty comical. Says it is.
What is he doing?
He's having app troubles, he said.
Yeah, every time I try to
Oh.
change virtual background into something cooler than it already is,
What is going on?
I might need to run the app update on my new iPad. I haven't run this thing for a while, so.
It's like every time you have a sun or something in the background, it gives this huge, like, specular reflection.
So I'm
So
going
at least
for
you
it.
had the sun in the right place this time. These are your photos, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like beautiful snow photos. Okay.
Someplace. Let's see, is that, can you guys?
Yeah. Is that a jump that you've taken?
Oh yeah, let me find some real cool jumps. What up, Mike?
Mike, good to see you, buddy. Happy Friday.
What's going on, guys?
Just hanging out.
Mike.
Just having fun. Decompressing.
Hey, Brandon. It's been
Okay,
crazy,
hold
man.
on.
Hold on, he's got to change shirts real quick.
Oh, you
I don't have
son
any
of
shirts
a...
to change. I'm
This
out
is
of
the running
vendor
joke.
shirts, man. I'm just down to stickers. Hold on, since now.
Hey, here's something for you. That's funny. I love it, man. I love it. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
What are the canned goods that you have next to you,
Yeah, I was wondering that as
Brandon?
well.
Brendan?
They're canned goods, you know. Like you guys don't have canned goods for the coronavirus. I got sliced carrots. I got canned potatoes, which sounds really delicious.
But why are they sitting on your desk?
And,
Yeah.
because it's a good prop. You know, because it's COVID-19, so it adds some levity into my conference calls when I join with toilet paper and canned goods and my name placard.
I feel like I'm watching QVC over here or something.
I said it last time.
$5,
Price is
Bob.
still the same. $100. You can have the toilet paper.
I was going to venture
wow
out to
over
the
here.
grocery store.
Mark, I'll trade this for you for the low price of one really great dispatchable location Ray Bombs Act solution, courtesy of Covene.
So, question then. So I'm trying to identify whether or not this is something that you care about.
Hold on, I gotta add this to CRM. Hold up.
So this is the big question that we've been batting around: is how important is it to you to minimize the number of DIDs that you're going to have in order to be compliant with Ray Bombs Act?
What's that question for?
Like, do you care that you're going to have a DID for every person who works off campus or for every person who works in a different dispatchable location under the current offerings from the different manufacturers of solutions, those third-party things we were talking about earlier? You have to have an ERL and an ELAN for every dispatchable location. How important
Well, it
is
depends.
it?
Do I have to consider? Do I have to consider every remote worker a dispatchable location?
You do.
Then that's a problem. So I do care about that, but I won't be the only one that cares about it. So we'll just lobby our congressman and get it changed.
I watched Ozark. I know how that's done these days.
Actually, I'm right there with you, Mike.
So yeah, it's an interesting thing when you think about, like, hey, if I've got a 40-story building and I've got it divided into quadrants, right? Then I've got 160 dispatchable locations in that building. But then if I start thinking about all those people working from home, every single one of those remote workers has to have a dispatchable location, a DID, as our current Gen 2 technology provides. It's going to become really unmanageable when you start to think about 5,000 people working from home, 10,000 people working from home, millions of people working from home. Do we have a numbering
Well, it
problem? I
depends.
don't even know what the availability of DIDs are. Do we have enough DIDs?
Are we going to go back to POP lines at home then? That's the deal?
What was that, Mike?
Are we going to go back to POPs lines at home? Are we going to go full circle?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say, hey, you can't call 911, but you can only do that until 2022. So come 2022,
Yeah.
you've got to allow them to call 911 from a remote device. It only buys you a year.
Not all the vendors agree with that. That's been my experience. I agree with you. I'm just saying. There's a class of vendor, the cloud-based, especially contact center related, that like to argue that they're exempt, and their lobby did argue for that exemption, and I think they got struck down, but they don't agree with me.
So you do not have to comply with that law until 2022.
Well, yeah, but that is the stage for when the compliance starts to kick in. So it's not that you don't have to comply until then. There is no compliance until that date. That's when the law basically starts. I mean, for me, it doesn't scare me too much because my contact center is a pretty small part of my organization. I've got 1,900 DIDs for 1,200 knowledge workers. You know, I have a very small couple contact centers. If I need to peel off 150 DIDs for that, it's not that unmanageable. But at a previous life, at a much, much larger contact center, that would be a huge problem. Spread out across the entire country, multiple thousands of workers, no DIDs to give to all of them, that would be a big deal.
So outside of the contact center, though, what about folks that are using some type of mobile client, right?
Well, that's fine if it's all driven off of a DID. I've already got a DID for every one of those users. I know where all of them are located and they're allowed to work and all that stuff. So it's a administrative hassle, but it's very doable. Like there's a path to get compliance because it's like okay, you have a DID. I know where you're going to work. It's either in the building or it's at your home. We can register those locations and figure out some sort of process for identifying when you're at one versus the other. We've got all the components. It's just an administrative pain in the butt, you know. So we can do it. We just don't really want to. Contact center is a little different. We don't give contact center users direct lines. We treat them as like you're in a queue. You're not individually reachable. It's your queue that's reachable.
But what about the folks that are working at home and working at the office when we go back to life as normal? Doesn't that mean you need to double up on your DIDs? Because that location is statically mapped right now, right?
To the users, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
I mean, we could push the ANI of the building, like the front desk line if they're in the building, and push their individual ANI when they're at home, which is not super clean, but it's all doable. If that's what the legislation requires, and that's what everybody has to do, that's what we'll figure out. You know, if it's generally untenable for everybody, then somebody will sue, and it'll get like a stay of execution, and something better will get put in place.
So
we're in a very business-friendly. I don't trust government, but we're in a very business-friendly climate right now. And if businesses all say this is not going to work, it's a Republican-led FCC with a majority of commissioners, and anything they put in front of Congress or president's going to get signed. So at least for the next, you know, for X period of time, they can pass whatever they want.
Too funny. Too funny. And then if they don't, then what happens? So you've got to provide
it's like any other kind of compliance. If it's true that it's this sort of galactic shift that nobody's prepared for, there's going to be a bunch of businesses, maybe Covene included, that are going to spring up with solutions for this problem that are maybe going to be just buy a crap ton of DIDs or whatever it is, and then that's what we'll do.
Do we have enough numbers? Does anybody know what we have? I don't know if you know, Brenda. You're probably the only person I would suspect might know how many numbers we have left.
No idea.
I don't either.
Too many.
I think Dallas just got a new area code, didn't they?
Yeah, we can just keep making area codes. It's unlimited. It's like printing money. There's no side effect. You just print as much as you want.
I like that idea.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah.
So what if you could push the location at the time of call instead of relying on a static database?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you're taking kind of a circuitous route to your pitch here.
How would you know the
Spit it out.
location?
Like, what is it? If there was an easier way for me to solve my problem, would I want the easier way? Of course.
Well, no, it's not easier. Actually, it's a lot of work because you got to have the user update their location where they're at and say, I'm at home. This is my address. Or I'm at my customer's office. This is my address. If I want to use my Jabber client or whatever, right? They have to tell the platform where they're at. That'll store that information, presumably. So when I go to the Breadco that's there in Loughborough Square, it knows the MAC address of the Wi-Fi access point that I'm associated with, and it stores that MAC address in a database. It says that MAC address belongs to 7225 Loughborough Avenue. So I don't have to keep updating it, but as I travel from location to location, I've got to tell it when it sees a new MAC address where I'm at. Then from that point going forward, I no longer have to have a DID assigned to me. I could use an internal extension, make a call, present the ANI of the building or the building telephone number, whatever, and real time present the actual dispatchment location of where I'm at versus relying on a static ALI database that's been updated by a telephony administrator like yourself.
How would it know you're at Breadco?
The first time I sit down at Breadco, it's going to ask me where I'm at. If it doesn't already have that MAC address stored because somebody else has been to that Breadco. But once I learn that MAC address of that Wi-Fi SSID that's being broadcast at that location, then it's going to store that in a database, and it continues to grow that database of MAC addresses so it knows where it's at. By the way, this is already how all the location tagging stuff works with Google. It stores all those MAC addresses as you're driving down the street. It's mapping out where MAC addresses are at. It's been going on for probably 10 years.
You could even bring it a step further if you know it's a mobile device, right? I mean,
well, you could pull that long from the mobile device, but
well,
why do you need to if you know what Wi-Fi SSID you're associated at? You know where that Wi-Fi AP is.
well, if you know if it's like it's somebody's laptop or something, you just have a policy where whenever they log in, they have to hit the drop down and put it in a new address or select an existing address. Just so they
Sure. Only if it's unknown. I wouldn't pester the user if it was known.
Yeah, if it's known or if it's make them update it. If it's like a mobile device.
So I mean, I don't speak for all businesses. We would just shut off soft phones. Honestly, like it's not a matter of like how could we possibly comply. We would hedge our risk by eliminating that feature to the users, and we would say you're going to communicate using Microsoft Teams. You know, if it really is this huge giant problem that is very hard to solve, if there's a piece of software that solves it for our particular PBX or PBXs, and we have a vendor that can fix it for us, then great, we would do it. But you know, we don't have a huge spread of soft phone usage as it is. You know, we have contact center users that work from home, but that's all manageable. If our legal department looks at it and says we're going to be grossly out of compliance with the FCC and have a huge bunch of fines if we allow people this ability to be mobile, then they're going to just tell me don't allow them to be mobile, which is not, it kind of sidesteps the conversation that we're having, obviously, because I think this is a solution we need to figure out. But there will be businesses like mine. I'm in the restaurant industry, so we don't have any money. So, like we'll just say, fine, nobody work anywhere but the building, and that's that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, when Covene has their offering that I'm excited to hear about, I'm sure you'll have like a beta or some sort of a trial group, and you'll offer those customers a really great discount to come in, and that discount will remain after the trial period, of course. I mean, now we're talking.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
you just signed up for a 20-year period. It's a 20-year contract term, so.
20-year contract.
Prepaid, of course.
Oh my God.
Prepaid. The really interesting thing is that all of the details exist, right? We know who's calling. We can ask the person when they go to a new location, because there's going to be a thick client installed on their computer or something from an app perspective built on their iPhone or Android device. We're going to ask that user to tell us where they're at before they can use the service. So like we have a way to get the information from the user. The question is, and this is not even pertaining to your business, but just in general, thinking about businesses, it puts a workload on the user before they can even use their phone. Do you think that's going to turn people off to working remotely, or are they just going to accept that as a tax?
No, I don't think so. If they have the money to pay for that, no problem at all. I mean, for companies that are security minded, they make their users jump through hoops for two-factor and other things. I mean, like, IT is not generally known in large businesses for really strongly considering what the end user perspective is. So if this is, I don't foresee this, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I've worked in big shops and small shops. If this is what somebody decides to roll out, that's what the users are going to do, because they're going to have no choice. The system won't turn on until they enter their location, right?
Well, I just think about even me, like if I was downstairs and I could not get upstairs because of a fire, and I tried to call 911 from either this room kit or from my DX80, let's say my cell phone's upstairs, right? And I try to call 911. First responders are going to reply to the office address right now, because there's no nomadicy in our current 911 setup for our own business, because we're not using any kind of dynamic location.
They're gonna respond to the office address if you are incapacitated.
Correct.
Like you're still going to deal with a human PSAP operator who's going to say, where's your location? It's more like they get a call and nobody's speaking. That's when this address is the only thing they've got to go off of.
And so today, that's okay. That's Gen 1 911. Tell the operator where you're at. In 2022, because I'm a nomadic user, I'm a remote worker, I could be fined $10,000 or up to a year in jail, plus $500 every day. I'm not in compliance because my phone system is not currently set up to send first responders to my house instead of our company address. To me, that would be bad. I don't want to pay 10 grand as long as it's not $1 million to solve the problem. Right? Cost benefit analysis, right? So if I can spend a little bit of money, make sure that employees stay alive, first responders go where they're supposed to go, not getting fined, not being put in jail, those are all things I'd be willing to spend money on as a business owner. But it can't be too atrocious.
Yeah, it can't be too onerous, because there's going to be a tipping point for people where they're just going to say, fine, you can't have that DX80 at home, right? Or they're going to say, we're not going to send telephony to you, we're just going to pay for a cell phone, and we're going to put the risk on the cell carrier, because it's cheaper for us to pay $50 a month for that than it is for what it. So the solution's got to be better than the screw it, we're taking our toys and going home approach, right? Now, of course, there's going to be customers that won't have that choice. So if there's sort of a captive customer that has to allow their workers to be that mobile and they just have no option to take them off of the PBX in a mobile fashion, then you've got somebody that's going to pay more than others for sure. But
I think there's probably a lot of people that are gonna find themselves on the wrong side of this, unfortunately. Ray bombs, especially.
Oh, yeah, Ray bombs is the scary one.
Well, I think there's people that are already out of compliance on Kerry's law and they don't even know it. There's such a lack of information. There's so few people that even know what Kerry's law is. Fortunately, ignorance of the law is not a defense. So,
No, it's not. But realistically, the risk of prosecution is very low. It's more of you have some terrible event that occurs that's related to dialing 911 and somebody, the whole impetus for the Carrie law, the girl Carrie, right? You have some situation like that, you're in a lot of problems. Besides the fact that you have an employee or somebody on one of your facilities that was hurt or injured or even worse, might have died,
Yeah,
you're
that probably
gonna
makes
have,
sense.
but there's not going to be roving FCC compliance forces that are going to come, be checking people's systems and making sure they're compliant. That's just not how that's ever worked.
what are you gonna say, Colin?
I was just wondering, does it make, if some incident does occur and they are found liable, I guess they're now found liable for negligence and some kind of criminal action.
Yeah, I think they're negligent. The fact that they didn't comply with Ray Bombs Act or Kerry's law at that point is the least of their concerns, because then they're open to all kinds of secondary lawsuits that are, oh, you were negligent, great, that you are now personally at fault for whatever this incident is.
Yeah.
It's not the FCC that's going to hit them with a $10,000 fine. It's going to be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit at that point.
Right.
One of the things I thought was interesting in the conversation we had with somebody this week, they were talking about the case of, say, a large hotel. Think of the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Somebody calling 911 from the MGM Grand in a room and not providing the room number as part of the dispatchable location would be such a faux pas. I'm not saying they aren't.
No, that's
saying
a
they
captive
they
customer
are,
right there.
right? But then you think about all of those rooms, all of those floors, so many people in a facility. Compliance with Ray Bombs Act really could be, not just from a compliance perspective, but it really could be the difference between somebody's life or death. And I think the right moral thing to do is to provide it. The technically challenging thing to do is not on the on-premise phones. It's those remote workers that have Jabber installed, or I don't know what's the Avaya soft client?
1X.
1X, yeah. So think about somebody that's remotely working. That's a hard thing to have weigh on your conscience as a telephony guy. Somebody's life might be impacted from the decision you've made from a technical perspective.
And even talking about the MGM Grand, let's say all of those hotel rooms, that's in theory with today's technology, a DID per hotel room. How feasible is that? Not very.
It's a lot of money for the upkeep and implementation too. But you do raise an interesting point.
Can pay for it.
Well, I was going to say, you raise an interesting point, Brendan, is that the corporate lobbying side, we still have a lot of time before this stuff really kicks in. It'll be interesting to see if there's changes.
There's ambiguity in this legislation. What is dispatchable location? What is technical feasibility? The FCC specifically declined to elaborate on those things. They left that open for debate. So dispatchable location, it says it needs to be sufficient to identify the caller's location, but you're saying room. A hotel chain might argue, well, floor might be sufficient, which isn't necessarily true. But what's going to hold up in court? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, right? So there's going to be battles over that kind of stuff. Like, oh, you identified this quadrant of the building, but you should have identified this pod of desks, right? Or maybe they identified a floor and you should have done this quadrant. Like, that kind of stuff is going to get legislated to hell if there's some incidents, right? Especially by the big hotels, like you said, they'd be a huge liability if it had to be down to like room level.
I think that the terminology on the dispatchable location, the FCC article does state specific location information down to the apartment number, suite number, room number, or other information required to accurately identify the location of the caller. So let's say that you did just do the floor number of a hotel room or of a hotel building or hotel. Is that truly enough to accurately identify the location of that caller? I would say not.
And then is it morally enough? Are we morally doing enough? No, this is a legitimate question. These are the things I think about. Are we morally doing enough to ensure the survival of somebody who calls 911 who's incapacitated, who can't say what room number they're in? Are we doing enough as telephony administrators, right, to help prevent some kind of loss of life? It's a hard question.
And
I joked
considering the
earlier
amount of alcohol consumed in Las Vegas, that's a very real possibility.
Yeah.
I gotta lighten the mood here, guys. This is happy hour.
You're not going to have a clue what room number you're staying in.
What's going on
there
here?
you go.
Getting audio from this guy.
Oh man, you play on the inside? Brave soul.
Even this is sharing it. I love it.
This is Mornis.
Nice.
You only play on the outside, man. You're very brave. Put some money on black.
What are you betting in euros for? What is this, like Bovada? Come on here.
Roulette simulator. Got it. It's a good demonstration of, was it 38-1 odds against you on roulette?
I don't know what it is. I wonder what else they've got here. American roulette, European roulette. What's that? Anyways.
They use the metric system.
I had a customer reach out to me today. Hey, we're looking to play a few recommendations you have to play some kind of trivia with our employees globally. And I actually did some searches quickly and found a bunch of recommendations for like online team building and such.
What are they?
Yeah, we've done
Tell
a
us
couple
more.
of those. Those are pretty fun.
Have you?
I can't remember the name of them, but it's like everybody, somebody shares a screen and it says like, go to this website and type in this code from your cell phone, and everybody like individually registers, and it shows the players all show up on the screen.
I remember
Yeah,
playing
there's-
games like that at Damon's Ribs in Ohio in Chillicothe, where you
I may have
log
been to
in,
that
sit at
restaurant.
the big bar. Have you?
I think I might have, yeah.
That was even a place to go before like homecoming or anything like that too. I mean, that was rolling in it to go to Damon's. And it really isn't much more than an Outback Steakhouse, but that's where I'm from.
That's awesome. I didn't know you're from Chillicothe, Missouri. Chillicothe, Missouri? Is that-
No, Ohio. So
Ohio.
I'm from just south of Columbus.
Right on. We used to work with a guy from Chillicothe. That's why I was wondering. I was like, you might know him because I know how small town world works. But
Chillicothe,
different
Missouri
state.
is pretty small, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know if you ever met him or not, Carrie. I was actually on a call with him today. Did you ever meet
Brad Payton. Brad Payton, good guy.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I should have
I have
texted him
not.
and told him to join. I didn't even think about that. Here, I'll send him a message real quick. Yeah, we were talking about the conversion stuff, but yeah, he's a busy guy these days, doing a lot of CCX.
Good for him.
What's everybody doing
Anybody?
for dinner? I'm looking at my DoorDash options right now. I think we might do some cafe mochi for dinner.
I don't think we have
That's
such a
pretty
thing
good.
out
I'll be
where I
right
live.
over.
No. What'd you say? What'd you guys say, Mike?
I'll be right over.
That's right. It's coming in. Someone's delivering it. That's my first DoorDash. I usually go pick it up myself, but I'm getting demands from my executive management upstairs. The dinner needs to happen sooner than 6. So it's just coming. It's going to show up in the mail.
I got to see if there's a Franklin County DoorDash.
There's got to be.
I don't know. I'm out in the boonies.
Your grocery store is outside, Jerry.
Yeah, but it's
Go.
spring. There's not much. DoorDash. Let's see. Can I have something delivered? Potential security risk ahead. I guess you don't click on the DoorDash when you do a Google search.
Ooh, good to know.
Uh-uh.
You
I got
have DoorDash
we've
out
got-
there in Cottleville?
Umbrella and amp running.
Do not go there. Try this again. That was official.
Since we're-
I clicked on the official site even, but it was an ad.
Mike,
I
you
don't
got
feel like
DoorDash?
cooking tonight.
Yeah, me neither.
Or do they not have a lot of delivery options out there?
Where? Carrie's place?
No, you're in Cottleville, aren't you?
Yeah. We got BMO's. We got there's several, man. There's a barbecue place right down the road here. There's Mellow Mushroom. Pretty good. They
Used
do,
to have
carry out.
I used to have a Mellow Mushroom out here in Denver, but it actually closed down recently.
Oh, yeah, we like their pizza. It's good.
I got to stay tuned. We can't find any restaurants near your location.
Oh, that's a bummer.
What
What's
about
everyone's-
Uber
what's
Eats?
everyone's-
Have you tried that one? Sorry.
I'm going to try.
There you go. What's everyone's thoughts on Emo's Pizza?
Oh, I love it. I'm an Emo's fan.
Yep. Ditto.
I'm a fan of food in
It's
general.
not good for you, but I'll eat it all day long.
Yeah.
I like all pizza. I don't think I've had a bad pizza, but I do like Emo's to the top. It's just a little pricey, and I'm a cheapskate, so.
Uber Eats was no. Give me something else.
Oh man, I don't know if there's anything else. There's DoorDash.
Grubhub?
There's Grubhub. Yep, there's one.
Yep.
Okay. Because I really want to drink this wine and I don't want to cook. And I can't drink the wine and go get food.
In case everyone didn't know, 7-Eleven also has delivery.
I don't have any
7-Eleven?
of those out here.
Yeah.
What do you get? Like a tornado or whatever, those little hot dogs in a blanket that roll around? Like, ugh. And a slushie.
Yeah, you gotta get your slushy.
Do they deliver alcohol? Would be the question.
Yes, they do. That is the answer.
That's
They
what
do?
I bet that's what they sell. Yeah, that's their. They'll tell you they'll deliver you a Slurpee, but their real revenue is
Sorry.
coming from the other
Well,
area.
They make you buy the Slurpee because it's like a $25 minimum purchase.
Oh man.
From 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
How many Sour Patch Kids do you have to buy?
It's
And
It's
corn
like-
nuts.
like 12 Kit Kats, trust me.
Are you,
I was gonna say
Counted
two
them.
9-pound
I'm
bags. Yeah.
13, definitely 12.
Yeah, what's your go-to road food? Like when you're on a road trip, what do you get at the gas station to eat?
I'm gonna go with those tater skin things. So those TGI Friday tater skins. Yeah, those things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a beef jerky.
That's me.
Always beef jerky.
Corn nuts is me. You probably heard that. Big time
Oh,
corn
those are
nuts
good.
fan.
I like those.
And the cheap, not cheap, but the jarred or bottled Starbucks frappuccinos or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That and corn nuts. Happy person.
Chili cheese.
What about
curds.
Boston baked beans? Does anybody eat those? Because you get the sweet and the savory and the crunch. There you go.
I don't think
Only
I've
at a gas station.
Yeah.
What about the trail mix with the peanuts, the M&Ms, and also the raisins?
That sounds
Anyone?
really healthy.
Ooh, you lost me at raisins. They're left in the bottom.
Raisins.
I like
yeah.
my raisins this way. Mm-hmm.
Squeeze.
Mike,
Lucky
what's
on that
yours?
one.
I mean M&Ms of all different varieties. Beef jerky. So I'm missing beef jerky. I like sunflower. I'll chew on sunflower seeds.
Do you eat the whole shell too? Because I do that. And I know
No,
that's
I don't
probably
eat the
not
shell.
what you should be doing.
I'll just like
Oh, wow.
you know, just pop them in my
I'm
mouth
hardcore.
and get the shells out.
I used to do
Mark,
that
did
when I
I
was a
hear-
kid, Carrie. Yeah.
Eat all of them? Yeah.
The
Yeah, get all
sunflower
the
seeds, I
fiber.
would just chop them up. Yeah.
Hmm? Mark, did you say you eat the beef jerky at the gas station?
That's pre-vegan.
Is it?
Pre-vegan.
All right. I was like, kind of like a bacon vegan. I thought maybe you were a beef jerky vegan.
No, I haven't found a good replacement for beef jerky on the vegan side of the house, unfortunately. Don't know what to do.
Oh.
Say
about that.
bacon vegan? What's a bacon vegan?
Yeah, because I mean, like vegans will make an excuse for bacon because it's
Oh,
so
all right.
darn good. I mean, it's like the gateway
That's
meat.
reasonable.
Yeah. I will tell you, when I was in Telluride this summer, I had mushroom jerky. The mushroom festival was going on at Telluride, and I'm pretty sure that the majority of the mushrooms were not, shall I say, anything other than illicit. However,
I was just gonna say, I bet that was a trip.
I did not take a trip. I did not. I promise you, I'm scared to death to try anything like that. But they had all these vendors in the square and like mushroom T-shirts, and people were wearing mushroom hats, which have various different meanings. I think I'm not real sure. I'm not in that culture. But
Oh,
yeah,
something new. I need to
it was
research.
peachy.
Yeah.
Yes. I can post some pictures that I took. But
Do it. Throw
I
one up
had
there. I
this
want to see.
mushroom jerky that was
Oh,
so
gosh.
disgusting, but vegan mushroom jerky. And the guy's like, "Oh, you gotta try it. You gotta try it." I'm like, "Free food, sure, I'll take it." And
Yeah.
ooh, it was horrendous. Horrendous. I
Ugh.
spit it out. But yeah. So yeah, I think kind of like bacon, it's really hard to fake it.
Yeah.
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 True.
I haven't found a good
That's some
replacement for
truth.
bacon, but there's a good sausage replacement. They've got some really good sausage, like even maple sausage that are meat substitute style. The only challenge with all of that is like it's insanely expensive. So like a package of that fake sausage is like $13. So
I'm pretty impressed with the what's that meat that they use for burgers now. That stuff is like not sure if I can
Beyond
tell the
Meat?
difference.
or matcha or
Not,
whatever it's called, match meat.
the incredible whatever other stuff.
Isn't it soy or no?
No, it's I think it may be partly soy, but they isolated some kind of protein or something.
One of those is made in St. Louis, Hungry Planet.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Get
I
some
was
of that
very
to
skeptical.
Arrangement there, Brendan.
What?
Get a little match meat or a little Impossible Burger action there on your array of foods on the desk.
Yeah, it's
I got a brick of frozen ground, not Impossible, but the other big one.
Yeah. Match
I
meat
can't remember what they're
stuff.
called.
Or
It's not Match. It's the Beyond. That's right. I got a brick of the crumbly Beyond stuff upstairs. It's not great. Like I like the vegan meats in the right form. The crumbly stuff to me hasn't worked out real well. Patty form is better.
More oil. I found like if you add oil to that stuff, it'll kind of coagulate a little bit more. If you try to cook some of that stuff on its own, it separates in the pan so it doesn't hold its shape.
Can we just say that utilizing the word coagulate when it comes to cooking and then therefore eating is not appetizing. Like,
What do you think? What do you
does
think
not
happens when you
belong in
sear
the same
that steak?
concept.
You got that big old ribeye. You're gonna sear every side and help brown
It doesn't coagulate, however, Connor.
Yeah, maybe
Oh.
calculates
Hey,
that the right way.
you brought up mushroom jerky, all right? So
True.
Oh, good Lord. That's good. Well, it does look like we've reached 5 o'clock. So it would be appropriate to let you go enjoy and have fun this weekend and stay safe. This is the first time we've streamed to YouTube.
Nice.
This is,
Uh-oh. We were YouTubing?
we are YouTubing at the moment.
Nice. Way to go, Carrie.
Oh, no.
Whoopsie.
You were
No,
professional the entire time.
I try, kind of.
Yeah. I think the the live stream icon inside the WebEx app might need to be enlarged just a little bit, a little feedback
Yeah,
there.
the top
Oh, there's
right.
no
You know, that's
live
where the
stream
recording
here.
icon is, though, to let people know it's recording, too. But, yeah, I hear you. Maybe a
I
watermark
did
would
not
be nice.
swear
You did not.
At
You
all?
were really good. You were really good.
Nope.
So I was saying, I think I might get a little chalkboard or something here. Say we're on the air next time.
Now we need the flashing light. You know, like
Oh, I don't
in the
No,
have
you
that.
need one of
studio.
those director boards.
WKRP.
Every time there's a break, just say,
Cut.
you know, that clapper board. You just need one of those.
Synchronize the audio.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, have a good weekend, everybody. We'll wrap up this happy hour and beers and belly laughs. Be safe. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers.
Thanks.
See you guys.
See you all.
Have a good weekend.
Cheers.
See you guys.